Hey there, drone fans. Rick here again from Drone Valley. In today's clip, I'd like to review a set of car chargers from our friends over at VogDUO that I think you're going to find pretty interesting. Now, if that company name rings a bell, it's because I've talked about VogDUO on the channel before. I own their products, I use their products, I love their products because their engineering team really thinks through all the problems I'm going to have trying to charge this wide variety of devices that I drag along every day when I go out for an afternoon of flying. And it's hard to stay ahead of that stuff because if you think about the type of devices you're charging, the type of chargers you're plugging in, the connection cables between the two, the evolving power standards required, whether it be a regular charge or a quick charge device, I don't know how they keep up with it, but the point is before they start designing a product, they're looking at those standards and they're making sure they design in enough future-proof engineering to keep you ahead of the curve for as long as possible, which means you can keep that device for a long period of time and really get some good value out of it for the money you're spending on it. And these chargers are no exception. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking, Rick, how much engineering could go into a car charger and what's the big deal? Well, I'm going to get into that in a minute because these two chargers are different than most of the chargers around the market for a lot of different reasons, and I'll get into that. Before I do though, in the spirit of full disclosure, the company did send me these products for review, but they didn't just send them to me. I bought these things, I've been using them for a couple of months, and like I often do, I sent them an email and I said, hey, you guys build a really cool car charger and we've worked with you before. Would you mind if I did a review for the channel of these car chargers? And they said, sure, we'd love to have you do the review. We'll send you a couple of them and you can give them away on your channel. So I'm not going to keep the second set of chargers. I don't need them. I've got a set I already bought. So I'm going to give these two away to you guys. And it's a really simple contest like we always do. In the comment section below, there's a link. If you click the link, just enter your email address. After a week's time, I'll pull a random name, actually two random names out of that list. And the first name I draw gets a choice between them because they are slightly different. The second person I draw gets whichever one the first guy didn't pick. And there's no strings attached. I don't need any kind of shenanigans around shipping costs or any of that stuff. You basically enter the contest. If I pick your name and you win, I'll ship it to you. And I don't care where in the world you live. Whether you're across town or you're over the river and through the woods, I'll ship the thing to you and you'll get it free of charge. So that's the contest. Now, I would do normally an unboxing on a product like this, but there's not a lot that comes in the box. But there are two different models. Both of the boxes, when you peel them open, will have the charger in it and an instruction manual, which includes a lot of information about how to use it, what kind of charging you can do, what the indicator lights on the charger mean, and all the good stuff you're going to want to know about warranty information. Now, there are two models like I'd mentioned. This is the SCC002. This is the SCC003. The 002 has two USB-C connections on it. It's a 30-watt charger. This one has one USB-C connection on it and one traditional USB-A connection on it. It's a 27-watt charger. So you're thinking, okay, SCC002, SCC003, where's the SCC001? Well, that's the cool part. Hasn't been released yet. So it's a product that's coming very soon, and that's going to include a brand new USB-C PD or power delivery connection on it as well, which will charge a lot of the high current devices like the Nintendo Switch and some of the MacBooks that are out today. But for now, these are the two that are on the market, and they're extremely reasonably priced when compared to other products. All right, so what separates these chargers from the pack? For starters, why do you even need a charger in your car? I get that question an awful lot. Why would I ever buy a car charger? I've got a newer car and I've got a USB connection on the dashboard where I can charge things off it. Well, the truth is the USB-A connection, which is probably what's on your dashboard, is a standard that's evolved a lot since its introduction in 1996. It started off as a half an amp of current, then it jumped up to an amp of current, then an amp and a half, 2 amps, 2.1, 2.4 amps. And really the current is important because as you start using bigger devices with larger displays and bigger batteries, if you're using an older charger, or in your case, if you've got a car that has an amp connection on it, it might take you 3 times as long to charge that phone. I know in my car, I've got an amp and a half connection for that USB on my dashboard. It could take me another hour to charge my phone as opposed to using something like this that delivers a full 2.4 amps for that USB-A connection. So that's the first reason you'd use it. The second reason you need something like this is because in my car, when I'm traveling with the family, everybody wants to plug stuff in. So I need a charger that I can actually connect up multiple cables to do, and both of these chargers have dual connections on them. Again, this is a dual USB-C. This has got a USB-A connection and a USB-C connection on. So with my son, he's got a newer phone that charges over USB-C. Bingo, I can plug it in. I have an older phone that charges over USB-A. I can plug it in there as well, and we can both charge at the same time. So I like that. In addition to that, the build quality on these things is amazing. They really built this to be an incredibly easy product to use, but very, very sturdy from a build perspective. A lot of times when you buy these kind of car chargers, the minute you plug them in, you hear creaking and popping. Sometimes the springs that hold these things into the actual 12-volt outlet are not really springy, so you have to kind of wiggle it to get the connection initially. This is spring-loaded as well. Sometimes they're not, and you push it in. If it works its way back out, you you think you're charging your phone for the last hour. Turns out you're not charging the phone. So all that stuff is really cool. In addition to which, it's incredibly thin. This thing is, as Monty Python would say, it's wafer thin. It's just so cool and so small. So when I take this on the road with me, because I travel a lot and I'm in rental cars a lot, I can pop this into the car, drop it back on my bag, and I almost forget that I have it with me. All right, so that's the exterior of the device. Inside this device, there's a tremendous amount of intelligence built in. Most of these chargers that are built for cars, they're going for a low price point. They want to put the thing out in the street and get it out there as inexpensively as possible, so you'll buy it and say, oh, well, I'll just buy that one, it's cheaper. This is not the cheapest charger on the market, and there's a good reason for that. A lot of times we forget that plugging this thing into our car, connecting a cable up to it, and then connecting up to a phone that's $1,000, we don't really understand if that current's coming through clean. And if I'm plugging a $1,000 phone or even a $200 phone into this thing, I want to make sure that the power, the electrons it's firing at that phone are really, really safe, because I don't want to damage that phone because I cheaped out on the car charger. So what this charger does is inside this unit, there's intelligence built in that when you plug something into it, it will immediately look at the device you're plugging in, it understands what the charging profile of that device is, and it delivers the exact right amount of current and voltage for that device to charge it as quickly as possible and as safely as possible. And that's really, really important for me because I'm plugging in all manner of device to these chargers. I've never had a single problem with them. I found that they charge all of my devices a lot faster, certainly than the connection on my dashboard, or even some of the other car chargers I used to use. So I like that about it. The last thing I'll say is they've built in all kinds of protections to this thing. So if you're goofy and you plug something into it that, you know, maybe is damaged, it's got overcurrent protection, over voltage protection, over heat protection. So if it's a hot summer day, it'll actually shut off the charging current and not damage devices. One other little cool thing they built into it is there's an LED on the side over here that'll give you some indication that your car battery may have problems. So it's not only looking at what it's doing to charge the devices downstream, which is what I care about, it's also looking at the power that it's pulling out of your car. And if your car battery drops below a certain voltage, you may still be able to start your car, but over time that's getting to the point where you won't be able to start your car. So this thing's smart enough to know that if your battery drops below that critical level, even though you can still start the car, that battery's on the way out, and that red light will come on and tell you that. So if you plug this thing into your car and a red light comes on that side, it's probably something you want to have checked. And that's pretty much it for today. So I like these a lot. Again, this is the SCC 002, 003. The 002's got the two USB-C connections on it. The 003's got one USB-C connection on it and a USB-A connection on it. That's the one I use more often. I imagine as we start upgrading devices, I'll go with the dual USB-C. Now the SCC 001 will be out very soon. I think it's a couple of weeks before they release it. I'm hoping the minute it's released, I can buy one of those things and bring it here and test it on the channel. And if the guys at VogDUO are watching this clip and you want to send me one to test in addition to the one that I buy, I'm happy to do that and give it away to somebody that watches the channel. But either way, these are for me the best car chargers I've used up to this point, and I like them an awful lot, and they go everywhere with me. So if you're looking for a car charger, consider these, and whichever one you need, whether you want the dual USB-C or you want to split it between a USB-A and a USB-C, they pretty much fit your needs. So that's pretty much all I have for today, and hopefully you found the clip helpful. If you have any questions about anything I've talked about in the clip, drop them in the comments below, and I promise to get back to you as quickly as I can. And while you're down there, make sure you enter the contest, because I can't wait to ship these guys out to the two winners. In addition to that, if you haven't joined the Drone Valley family yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button over there, and that way you'll be notified whenever we upload clips. I've got a lot of stuff coming on high-tech gear and drones and a bunch of other cool technology, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel. I've also got links below where you can find these two products on the VogDUO website, and you can go out there and take a look at them and see if they're right for you. They've got a pretty good discount on both products right now. So thanks an awful lot for watching, and until next time, happy flying.